There's sun, sea, and sand, and this week in Antalya, there's also plenty of cinema. We sent our Miranda Atty to the Turkish Mediterranean province for the 54th Annual International Film Festival. Here are her highlights from the first few days.
Antalya is rolling out the red carpet for a week that's all about cinema. 10 films are in competition for 7 awards, including Best Film, Best Director, Best Actor, and Best Actress. It's another glamorous start to the International Antalya Film Festival. 2 of the big names being honoured are actors Juliette Lewis and Christopher Walken, who'll be walking this red carpet shortly. The American actor and singer will also be at a special screening of seminal crime movie Cape Fear, which sprung her to fame.
It's always a pinch me moment, if you understand this expression, where you're like in a dream, because it reminds you of how far you came and also your roots in the beginning. So Cape Fear for me was the first movie to sort of introduce myself to the world. It's also who I consider my first creative teacher, that of Scorsese. That director he's so phenomenal. So I'm always excited to talk about any artistic experiences.
Jury President Elias Suleiman has directed films tackling living under occupation in Palestine. He's not surprised by the festival's focus this year on issues such as the refugee crisis.
The excitement of last night may be over, but there's still lots going on with the festival itself. There's events taking place all over the grounds. There's masterclasses, Q&A sessions, these guys, and there's also the film forum, which is taking place in the pyramid behind us.
The forum's the place for Turkish writers, producers and directors to meet, collaborate and find funding.
We have lots of success stories in past years. For example, lots of films last year was there, they won award and they go very well international premiere in the world.
Mike Downey is the festival's new artistic director for 2017. He and the rest of the team have made some changes. Previously there was a national and international competition, but this year they've merged. Organisers say it reflects the festival's international identity and an aim to compete at an international level. 2 Turkish films are competing for the Golden Orange. The Guest, about refugees escaping from Syria to Istanbul, and Ugly Duckling, about one woman's struggle for existence. The winners will be announced at Friday's awards ceremony. Miranda Atty, TRT World, Antalya.
Now, Miranda also had a chance to sit down with the festival's guest of honor, Oscar-winning actor Christopher Walken.
Well, when I was young, people sent their kids to dancing school, in America anyway, in New York. And I did that, and then I started to work in musical theater, and then I got a job in a play as an actor, and then I got a job in a movie. You know, that's what happened.
When you look back at your career, is there a defining moment?
Absolutely, you know. I worked for decades, and then suddenly I did something that became very popular. You know, certain movies like The Deer Hunter, obviously, Annie Hall. But that's, for an actor, that's a little bit like the lottery. You know, you keep playing and then someday you get lucky.
And you said you watch a lot of old movies. What are some of your favourites that still resonate with you now?
Well, a lot of movies. Many of my favorite movies were movies that very few people saw. But that's the way it is. Most actors, you know, if you look at their biography, they made so many movies that you don't even know about. And sometimes you remember movies because of different reasons. Because of, you know, you liked doing it because of the actors you were with. Sometimes a location, you know, you'd be in a particular place it's always something different.
You mentioned that you work a lot because otherwise you'd get bored. You have no plans to retire. Will you be working right up until the end?
I hope so, you know, the end, yes. Sorry. No, that's right. No, it would be nice to be on set and just, dead. You know, say, I'm sorry, Chris, he can't come to work today because he's dead. It might happen, you know.
What about films coming up? What are you working on?
War with Grandpa, it's called. Well, I play the friend of Grandpa, and he has these kids and he has trouble with them, and I hope it's funny.
You're famous for playing villains, but you've also done a lot of comedy. You've appeared on SNL. What is it about comedy that speaks to you in the way that playing a straight villain maybe doesn't?
Well, comedy, of course, is fun. And they always say, you know, what's more difficult, comedy or tragedy? And a lot of people say, well, comedy is more difficult. But comedy is not difficult if you're funny. No. So, I don't know what's more difficult. Night shooting is difficult. Yeah, so if you take a movie and they say, we're going to shoot this at night, that's very difficult for me. Because I like to get up early in the morning and go. When it gets dark, I'm finished.
An eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind.
No, it doesn't. There'll be one guy left with one eye.